Hey, what's up, Next Level crew? Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Next, the podcast where we help you navigate franchising and business ownership. And today we got a cool topic, and that topic is now really a good time to invest or start a business. What do you think?
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
It's very interesting out there right now. You see all the headlines about rising interest rates, the unemployment rate going up. We have the elections coming up. There probably is some fear in people. Is now really the right time? So let's break it down.
Right. So we've been through, think about it, the last few years, we've been through a pandemic, right? We'll have some fun here. I don't know if many of you know, but I am a collector, and I collect many different things, such as sports cars, die-cast cars, games. And in my game, Mad Money by Parker Brothers, there is a $1,329,063,000 bill. There it is for you. So I want one of these. So we've been through time of rapid inflation. Now we're going through disinflation maybe, and we're in a recession or in a depression. I don't think anybody really knows what the heck is going on. So is it really a great time to invest in a business? And we'll start off today, Stacy, I guess, talking a little bit about, how is the franchise industry handling or adapting to what has just happened, economically over the last few years? What do you think?
I think they've done a great job, which is certainly a reason to give franchising a look and learn about it, explore the options. Franchising is a proven model. They are investing in the tools and the technology. If you watch some of our previous episodes, we've done some on AI and how that is impacting the franchise industry, both from the franchisor side and the franchisee side. So there are a lot of tools and technologies available to you. There have also been a lot of changes in the business models, and we've done a lot of video and audio content on that. For example, mobile franchising, something you hadn't heard a lot about in the past, and different business models moving towards semi-passive, truly passive, and a new emerging model called the investor model.
All right, so that's all great information, but I'm a franchise, looking at a franchise, and I'm on the fence. How do I know this is the right time for me personally to want to get involved with franchising?
Well, my initial answer is going to be there's never the perfect time, right? It's never perfect. Now, let's relate it back to our story, Dave, right? So way back in the day, 2005, when I had my midlife crisis, we decided to invest into a franchise, which we still own today. But at the time, there was fear to write the check. And it wasn't so much that those were bad economic times. They were actually decent times. And we grew very quickly. And by the end of the second year, we had dominated the DC area, 10 tiki bars, 3 food trucks, 2 stores in Dulles Airport, and a store in a mall. Yeah. And then what happened?
2008 came along, the great financial crisis. That was actually a life-altering moment and a humbling moment for us, for sure. And, the thing is about starting business or going into business is that, there truly isn't a super great time to get started. And I'll just reference, and we've referenced this before, and we had some comments before. And again, if you like our content, please like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps us in the algorithms. That there were businesses that were started during the Great Depression. I mean, this was way worse than it is today. And people were commenting that that's impossible. There's no way. So I'm going to give you a couple. All right. So there's Walt Disney, IBM, many others. Stacey, any more come to your mind that you can think of that started during the Depression?
There are great ones. And the reality is, when you look at franchising, chances are you're going to be signing a 10-year agreement. You're going to have ups and downs throughout those 10 years. It's not going to be constantly a perfect economic climate. So, as Dave was saying, there's never really the perfect time. My opinion is when things are a little bit tough, that's actually the opportunity to put your stake in and leverage some opportunity, because most people are scared.
Yeah, so wrapping that back to our story, Stacey, and that's a great point. We did come in at a great time. We started in 2005, and we went gangbusters. The money was flowing. It was, you could get a loan from anybody anywhere if you could fog a mirror. Mm-hmm. And 3 years in, the bottom fell out. So chances are, no matter when you get started, if you're investing or looking at a 10-year time horizon or more, you're going to go through some economic cycles during that. It may be in the first couple of years, it may be later, but you are going to go through a cycle. So there really isn't a perfect time to get started in any kind of a business. Now, just to get into some statistics, actually, before we do that, how about you shared our story? Are there any stories out there maybe of some of our previous candidates or some other people where it didn't turn out so great, such as ours, that got started in a tough time? Just to be realistic here.
We haven't had any candidates who went into business and have failed, so that's the good news. But I think everybody has come to us with some type of fear. It's a natural reaction as you go through the process. I think about our most recent placement, who was a veteran who was recently married, transitioning out of the military, but had this entrepreneurial itch and really wanted to do something that combined his love of autos with kind of trying a franchise model. This process took him 1.5 years to ultimately make it to the end of the road. And because he did move forward with an auto tinting franchise, which is brick and mortar, it's a higher investment. So there was a lot to think about. The funding had to get in place. There was fear. But no doubt that because it was a good match, he's going to do great.
Right. And what I can say on that topic is that businesses fail in good times and in bad times. So it's really a lot of what happens after you start a business is up to you. It really is truly up to the owner to make that business work. A lot of people leave business for reasons that have nothing to do with failure. They have life-changing events, things like that. So let's go back here and let's talk about, I guess, some statistics that are showing that 50% of franchises cost less than $350,000. But even with that, there's a wide range of investment levels. If you're on the fence and you are fearful right now because of the economy, maybe you just decide to go with a franchise that doesn't have quite the investment that some other franchises have, right?
Absolutely.
Is that not a good option for them?
Yeah, and most franchises that we connect candidates with are usually in the 100 to 150 range, all in. A lot of them are home-based or mobile-based, and you can kind of ramp and grow and scale as big as you want to, but you don't have to bite off this big nut out of the gate.
Right, and I'll add to that, too, that recently there were some statistics that came out about the growth of the franchise industry. Forget about the economy, forget about the nonsense in the news. The reality of it is that the franchise industry is going to grow at roughly 4%, a little over 4% in 2024. So regardless of, what you might be thinking right now, getting in the right business for you that matches your why and getting in now may be a great opportunity because there are a lot of people that are fearful and people need businesses. They need services. They need home services. There's a shortage in many cities of, things like handyman and roofers and just basic staple type things that do well during a recession. People are remodeling their homes. They're not going out and, putting huge additions, or, not remodeling. They're just fixing their homes and not going out there and doing huge additions and things like they were a few years ago. So there are plenty of opportunities out there, even in today's environment.
Yeah, many categories are doing very well. Senior care is going to be a booming, pun intended, industry for the next 20 years. As Dave was saying, home services, because we all have a roof over our heads, and that roof one day is going to leak. And everything underneath it, whether it's your kitchen, your bathroom, your HVAC, your flooring, there are so many concepts in the home service space that those are very need-based, and they tend to be very recession-resistant. And then another one is those four-legged children, as I call them. The pet industry is doing extremely well, and there are many types of business models in that category. So, it's never any harm or any foul to learn and explore and see what the options are. Because if you're unhappy in a job, and so many of our candidates come to us saying you're unhappy in your job, or you feel like you're working so hard building somebody else's wealth instead of yours, or I think a lot of people have the entrepreneurial dream and they want to do something more than the lemonade stand, but they want something that fills the heart, right? It has to be passion-based, but you can have a business that fills the heart and fills the wallet, and franchising is a great route to get you there.
Right. So, Stacy, that's a great point. And, just to share, we have a lot of candidates who come to us who, the reason they come to us is that there are over 4,000 franchises out there today. And the question is, how do you guide them through some type of a process to help them find a really good match for them?
Well, we have our own 9-step proprietary system we call the Franchise Roadmap, which guides you through finding that perfect match, and we're along as your coach and your guide and your mentor. And here's why you want to give franchising a serious possibility if you're looking at business ownership. To me, there's 2 P's. And you can be an entrepreneur and you're thinking, oh, well, if I'm going to do a business, I'll just do it on my own, become a startup. So that P is more about possibilities, where you're just going to go out there, throw spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. And those people, we need them in the world, but they're not necessarily the best candidates for franchising. Franchising has to do with the other P, which is probabilities. And probabilities mean you have the highest rate of success in this type of business model. And as Dave was saying, look, it's proven itself. If you look at the trends year over year, it's growing. Since last year, 4.1%. And we don't see any slowing down of it.
So, awesome point, Stacy. And that lends into, maybe if you're thinking about starting a business, maybe instead of starting from scratch, which has a very huge probability of failure, up to 90% in the first 5 years, maybe franchising is a better opportunity for you, where it's a proven system, and the exact opposite true. 80 to 85, 90% of franchises are still in business after 5 years. And that includes ups and downs in the economy.
Right.
So we've covered a lot today. It's a great topic. We'd love to get your feedback. Give us comments if you have any comments, about this topic. And we appreciate you, listening to our content. Again, if you like it, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out with YouTube, and it also helps us want to bring you more content like this. We do thank you so much for joining us for this episode of What's Your Next? We'll catch you on the next one.